swear you like that guy way too much.
already
It's
watched one
either
of the.
him.
I already watched one of the three episodes he was
Okay, I'm
on that
just
I
waiting for the
bought.
black screen of death to go. I mean, the white screen of death to go away. We're being an official Lego builder. Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday night here at Beyond the Airways, the Infinity Project. Happy Hump Day. Hello, Mike. Mike. I'm kidding. Sorry, I can't resist that commercial. All right. Well, anyway, it is Wednesday, which means it's time for Warzone Wednesday. We'll have stories that make you laugh, think, cry, get upset, won't it be enough to fire off a supernova rant rocket. And tonight we got something really odd and unusual, thanks to B Button here, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Let's get the intros out of the way first. I'm your host for tonight. I am Stream. I'm currently joined in line by four of my crazy cohorts. First, we have Spirit Spotter Tim. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, my dear.
We also have a resident joker, Mike. Hello, Mike.
Evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
And we also have our resident star child, Janet. And yes, my thumb has vanished in this thing. Oh, Janet.
Hello. Hello. You better watch out for the stormtroopers behind you.
Oh, yeah, they know I'm here. I'm good. All right, and we also have our resident B button, John. Hello, John.
Hello, Shirley.
All right, so anyway, we've got something a little unusual tonight. We're going to have B button talk about something. So, B button, the floor belongs to you.
Okay. How now, brown cow? Okay, guys. First off, quick show of hands. Tim, since you, for whatever reason, prefer not to use your camera, if you are going to raise your hand, just say aye, okay?
Okay.
All right. Show of hands. How many of you support the current U.S. military occupation and/or military actions against the Middle Eastern city of Agrabah?
I.
That's all four of them. Why do you guys support it?
Why do I support?
Well, I think part of the reason is their suppression of women.
Okay. Any issues in particular that come to mind, or?
Probably, the battle with oil, trying to keep control of it, they don't want to share it, trying to, make sure that our gas prices stay high.
Gotcha.
Street thugs that like to steal anything and everything they can get their hands on.
Mm-hmm.
How about the way the king treats his daughter, smothering her to death?
Yeah.
Really? That's a little bit of news to me. Janet, would you elaborate on that, please?
Let me think.
Oh, before you go on, Sandra's in the chat room. Hey, Sandra.
I'm not very good at
Sandra.
expressing myself. I'm not very good at expressing myself.
That's okay. Take your time. While you're doing that, Mike, I saw you raise your hand in support. Why do you feel we should be bombing or have military action against Agrabah?
Good question. I feel like maybe they're up to no good. I don't know.
Okay. Now, quick follow-up question. If I were to show you a map containing Israel and actually just the general Saudi Arabian Peninsula, how many of you think you could point to roughly where Agrabah is? Just show hands.
I'm not good at reading maps, so.
I am good at reading maps.
I could probably point to the general area in which it likely would fall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you tell us where you believe that area would probably be?
Well, last time I heard Agrabah, it looked like it would come from like the Saudi Arabia area.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because
Same
of the
here.
way, like the domes of the buildings, they look like the same thing that you would find in Saudi Arabia. So it's probably a city somewhere in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or no general whereabouts.
So do you guys think it's probably somewhere in Saudi Arabia thereabouts?
Yeah, I would think so.
I do, yeah.
Well, I
Me
hate to
too.
say it, but you actually guessed wrong there. Uh, Probably the closest place you could find Agrabah is the DVD shelf of a family with small children. Agrabah is not real except in the imagination of Disney screenwriters.
What?
Nani?
That's right. Agrabah is the fictional setting of the 1993 Disney movie Aladdin. The thing of it is, apparently a lot of people don't know that. Shirley, I sent you a link in Zoom chat. Would
Yep,
you
I will be glad
open
to
that
put
and
it
share
up
the
in a
screen,
second.
please?
Let me go find it real quick because you know how this thing loves to play games with me. Select option. Come on. You have to bear with me on this growl.
Growl.
I like that. It's right up there with gasp.
Okay, now let me take it to the right link. There it is. Got it.
Yep.
Er,
According to a poll done in, I believe it was 2015, December of 2015, in fact, apparently 30% of Republicans and 90% of Democrats who were polled supported the bombing of Agrabah, not realizing that the bombing, like I said, would take place either in a DVD, a Blu ray, or perhaps, if you were lucky enough to retain one, a VHS. So, you guys' thoughts so far?
yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's your sign. Quote Bill Engvall.
Yes. Billingwall.
Yep.
All right. Well, quick show of hands. Who besides me thinks this concept is kind of scary?
Oh, it
Actually,
definitely
yes.
is scary. It definitely is scary, especially if our government officials cannot recognize Agrabah as a fictional city.
Right.
You know? So, yes, it is scary.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
I'm just worried about the fact that the American people don't recognize it because they're the ones voting for those elected officials.
That's true.
I think they've been, I hate to use the word brainwashed, but for lack of a better word, to believe that anything of Middle Eastern origin or with a Middle Eastern theme is bad.
Yeah.
And that's stereotyping a whole group of people from
Oh,
different
yeah.
countries as being identical.
Hmm.
I mean,
I'll tell you an incident that happened in the town I used to live. This was at the height of the anti Muslim sentiments, etc. There was a gentleman that owned a gas station.
I'll be
He
right
was
back.
not Muslim.
Oh, boy.
He was of the Sikh religion. I
Uh-huh.
think spelled Sike, something like that.
No, it's Sikh.
SIKH.
Sikh. He was running a gas station, raising money, taking care of his family. These assholes shot him to death just because he was wearing a turban.
Hmm. And if I remember correctly, Janet, you and I both saw that at the Museum of Civil Rights here in Montgomery. Remember?
Uh huh. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't like the actual what actually happened, but they had like the bit of history with it, and it's like yeah. So a little bit of that. It was you see
Yeah.
we have the Civil Rights Museum here in Montgomery, and Janet and I both went through it. So
And I recognize that. Basically, what we were walking by was a wall
Mm-hmm.
that had these pictures of racial incidents,
Mm-hmm.
and that one was on it.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hey, Tim.
But
We were just
that
talking
is
about the Civil
crazy.
Rights Museum in Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah,
And the
we have.
fact that
There's a fantastic civil rights museum here in Montgomery. You go through it, it's like you'll never be the same.
So, you guys think it's crazy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy and
yeah,
scary.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about something even crazier and scarier. You ready?
Yeah.
There is a chemical out there that way too few people know the dangers of.
Mm-hmm.
This stuff is best described as deadly. It is deadly if it's inhaled. It can cause harm to human, animal, and plant life in all three phases of matter it can be in: solid, liquid, and gas. When it's in its gaseous state, it is a greenhouse gas, and it is the most corrosive substance known to man. This stuff will dissolve iron.
Ooh.
ripes.
Crikey.
And the worst part is, just about every human being on the planet gets exposed to some level of it every single day. This chemical is known scientifically as hydrogen hydroxide.
Mm-hmm.
Now, quick poll. If I were, say, to draft up a petition to make hydrogen hydroxide a banned substance, how many of you guys would sign it?
Oh
Please
yeah,
show of hands.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I would.
I would.
I probably would.
What about you, Timothy?
Yeah, I
So you
probably
would
would.
sign it.
Yep.
Well, guys, I just want to congratulate you. You just elected to make a banned substance out of water.
What?
Nani?
Hydrogen hydroxide, otherwise known as H2O.
2-0.
Ah.
Oh, I only knew water by that the one chemical composition you just mentioned.
Yeah. Hydrogen is one H. The hydro of the hydroxide is the other H. The oxide is the O. H2O.
Kind of. You're right, hydrogen is 1H. Hydroxide is actually OH.
Okay, got it.
And there's your H2O.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And don't get me wrong. Anyone who's taken a water safety class knows it's dangerous, and it will dissolve anything. If you put something metal into pure, that is distilled water, it will dissolve in no later than a week.
Ah. Yeah, because I think
That is
I've
how
seen that
reactive
on the
it is.
I've seen that on the Weather Channel when they would do those experiments on oh, what was that show called? Not Secrets of the Earth. Strangest Weather on Earth. That's it. Yeah,
Well,
I
anyway,
have seen that before. I have seen that on one of those
Yeah, that is
experiments.
probably why when you have like objects, say they're building a bridge over water,
Mhm.
hmm,
got the metal supports down in the water,
Mhm.
it will
yeah,
eventually rust away, corrode away,
Right.
I would
yeah,
think.
though that's mostly because the water is not pure, but in its pure state, it would rust a lot quicker. That's part of the
Mhm.
reason they encase them in concrete.
Uh-huh.
Right.
I
Here's the
I
thing,
am.
guys.
Go ahead. Go ahead, John.
In
Uh-oh, did
light
we?
of my asking if you would sign a petition.
Mm-hmm.
The sad truth is, you're not the exception to the rule there.
I believe that.
This. Okay, guys, I just shared with you another link in chat.
Okay, and I'll put that up in both Discord and. Okay, give me a second here. Ooh, that's a heck of a link.
Yep. Basically, guys, what happened was that two college students out in California, let's see, the names were.
Good night, Jack. See you tomorrow.
Good night, everybody. Names were Eric
Sorry
Leckner.
about that.
That's okay.
Actually, it was four of them. In 1989, Eric Leckner, no, Lars Norpin, and Matthew Kaufman, alongside a man named Craig Jackson, had the bright idea for an interesting prank. They decided to print a leaflet about the dangers of, as they called it, dihydrogen monoxide, a chemical that was deadly if inhaled, potentially harmful in its solid, liquid, and gaseous states, a chemical known to cause electrical failures, and a greenhouse gas, and something that covered 98% of the planet. Now they decided to release this on April Fool's Day.
That should have been an answer, been a
And-
dead giveaway right there.
Unfortunately, some people did not realize that it was April Fool's Day, or worse, did not realize what chemical was actually being described to them.
Well,
Later
not
on,
everybody's born a chemist either.
well, I'll get to that in a bit, Janet. Here's the thing, guys. This scared people in California so much that a Californian actually drafted a petition that got before California legislature to make dihydrogen monoxide a banned substance. Thankfully, it never took off, but they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Guys, both of these topics are symptomatic of a bigger issue. It's an issue that should scare all of us. That issue is a disease that I like to call cheese brain.
Never heard that term before, actually.
Neither have I.
Basically, the symptoms of cheese brain are characterized by a general lack of coherent thought.
I
I take
believe
the
that.
term from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, specifically the original song that the Oompa Loompas sang when Mike TV met his fate, about how television causes thinking powers to rust and freeze and the mind to become as soft as cheese.
Ah, gotcha.
Of late, people have been becoming less and less cognizant, mostly because of the fact that they think that they can get by without thinking. Now, this is not tied down to any particular reason. I'm not saying, for example, close your laptop and read a book, though I would advocate, say, going on Wikipedia or, better yet, a Bing search and reading something that holds your attention, because that's a good mental activity.
Mm-hmm.
Or playing games designed to stimulate your brain. The problem is, there are a lot of people in this world who have been able to coast along on ignorance, or rather lack of general coherent thought, to the point where they will trust other people because that's the easy thing to do, and they will trust them exactly where they shouldn't trust them.
Okay. before you go on, JJ's in the chat room. Hey, JJ.
Hey, JJ.
So, JJ,
All right, go ahead.
fact of the matter is, when you've got people who don't realize that to they're being asked their opinion about whether or not the United States should bomb what would prove to be a completely fictional city, or when they don't realize that they're about to make it illegal to have the one chemical that every human being needs to survive, that's a sign of a bigger problem. And that problem is not just ignorance. That problem is a general lack of mental activity.
That's true.
Fact of the matter is, we got kids in school who don't pay attention because for whatever reason they can get away with not doing it. And when they get to be adults, they don't have to discover the hard way that they either have to work or they risk starving to death.
Oh, yeah.
They can live off SSI, perhaps even SSDI, and the whole cycle starts again.
Yeah. Because you
I'm
see
not
that.
saying that
yeah.
those who deserve it shouldn't have it.
Right.
But the fact is, SSDI, the reason SSDI is an entitlement is because you're supposed to pay into it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, when you have people in your country who can't tell the difference between water and a toxic chemical that has no use whatsoever except essentially being an instant kill machine, then we have a problem. You guys' thoughts?
Well, I mean, it goes back to that story that went around. People started taking pictures of the National Guard in the parking garage. Okay, I mean, people on both sides were outraged with it. But then the Massachusetts National Guard set the story straight and said, no, we were on a break because the Senate was in session, and then when we were done for the day, we went back to our hotel rooms.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because remember, that story blew up. Both people on both sides were angry, but then they didn't pay attention to the whole story either.
They just read
Exactly.
that. They just saw that picture
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
and,
All it
and
took
saw
was one
what they wanted
pick.
to see.
Right.
Yeah,
We
but
are
I'm glad
living
that little situation got straightened out.
Mm-hmm.
basically,
Man, what?
guys.
what
Hold it. Go ahead, John.
Tell me whether you agree or disagree with me on this. Basically, we are living in a world where people give out unearned trust because it is easier to judge a book by its cover than to try to read the book.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll go give you. I'll give you an
Yes.
example of that. I'll give you an example of that.
I'm listening.
I watch a lot of these Oriental videos on Facebook every morning.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the rich girl working for the big company, yada yada yada. And you have the construction worker, or you have a person basically panhandling to stay alive, not like what's here. And she'll go up and she'll insult them and put them down without knowing the background.
Mm-hmm.
And on some of those videos, come to find out, the people she put down are the mother or the father or the son of the head of a big company. But to go back to that, they judge a book the outside. Some of the people there say, outside you're beautiful. You're very beautiful on the outside, but your inside is rotten. Is rotten.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Right.
Beauty on the outside, and then there's beauty on the inside.
Yeah. All right. Now there's something.
Oh shit! Excuse me.
All right. Now there's something I'm gonna read here. Now here's what happened. Southern Living Magazine, there is a writer named Steve Bender. He goes by the nickname the Grumpy Gardener. Now, on Tuesday, he had written something that got a lot of people rather upset. That tornado that hit Fultondale, Alabama Monday night. Um, he said, there were no sirens, no warning, blah blah blah. A lot of people got pissed off, including both James Spann of North Alabama and Josh Johnson of WSFA here. Well, he actually issued an apology. Okay? So, here's what he said.
The Grumpy Gardener?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the Grumpy Gardener said this. Yesterday, I published a story on SouthernLiving.com about the terrible tornado that struck parts of Jefferson County, Alabama in the middle of the night. Because I and others I talked to heard no sirens or weather radio alerts, I stupidly assumed no one else had. To convey the horror of being hit without warning, I said there had been no sirens, no alerts, and no warning by TV meteorologists. I was wrong. There had been. In fact, people in Fultondale, Alabama, where the storm hit, heard sirens and had about 10 minutes warning. It was never my intention to cast aspersions on the National Weather Service or any local meteorologist. I wrote my story out of emotion and sympathy for the victims, out the helplessness we all feel when it seems the weather singles us out and there is nothing we can do to prevent it. I've lived in Alabama and written for Southern Living since 1983, so that's almost 38 years. I remember about 38.
No, let's see. How about 83, 93, 2003, 2013, 37 is 20, and 2021.
Janet, 1983 from 2021 is 38.
Okay. Never mind.
All right.
I don't do it. Math is my forte.
Math is my forte. Let's see.
Okay, go on.
I remember shortly after I arrived before the days of storm sirens, weather radios, and Doppler radar when a tornado hit our neighborhood in the middle of the night. There was one boom of thunder, the power went out, and then all hell broke loose. I had never experienced anything like that before. I remember working on a story over in Georgia in the late 1990s and hearing on TV about an F5 tornado passing near my home. I called, praying to God I wouldn't get a busy signal, and my wife answered. She and my son were in the basement, and I could hear sirens in the background. They were spared. On April 27, 2011, I was attending a garden event in Little Rock, Arkansas. The night before, a large tornado had struck a nearby town and destroyed it. I believe that was Valonia. That morning, the weather radar on my smartphone showed numerous monster tornadoes, F4s and F5s, carving their way through north central Alabama. I felt so helpless. All I could do was watch my phone. The destruction was tremendous, but timely and continued warnings by the National Weather Service, sirens, and TV meteorologists undoubtedly saved hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. Birmingham meteorologist James Spann was one, and since then has constantly pushed for better technology and practices to give people the most accurate and longest warnings they can, as well as educating the public about what to do and not do when severe weather is imminent. I am not a mean person. I am not a tabloid writer. On all but rare occasions, I write about gardening. Only yesterday, a feeling of sorrow for the tornado victims in the time of COVID welled up within me and ran through my fingers into my keyboard. I made an inaccurate statement about the lack of tornado warnings, and for that am very sorry. For anyone I hurt or offended, I ask your forgiveness. Finally, thanks to Birmingham meteorologist James Spann for printing this apology on his Facebook page.
Hey guys, I got a couple of good historical examples for you.
Okay.
Examples of this. Who do you guys think was the first human being to hypothesize that the Earth was spherical?
Galileo, I would think.
Any other answers?
Nope.
I got nothing.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't guess Christopher Columbus, because back when I was a kid, you would have been the exception to the rule.
Because he thought the world was flat.
No, actually, he didn't.
Oh.
Here's what happened.
Columbus thought the world was round when everybody else thought the world was
flat. Okay, hold it. Janet, let him go. Go ahead.
That actually did not happen. Here's the real history behind it. The ancient Greeks, supposedly starting with a Grecian in Siene, Egypt, named Eratosthenes, figured out not only that the Earth was spherical, but that its rough circumference was about 25,000 miles. He did this with some observation and basic trigonometry. This fact was well established by 1492. In fact, if you went to college by then, you would have been taught the Earth is spherical and it's 25,000 miles around in a great circle path. What actually happened with Columbus was that he overestimated the longitudinal width of Eurasia and he used an outdated version of the mile to measure that longitude. So when he proposed what he did to the Spanish royalty, they thought he'd messed up his math and thought he was insane because of that. The truth is, the notion that Columbus thought the earth was round when everybody else thought it was flat comes from the author of Sleepy Hollow.
Ah, Washington
Wash-
Irving.
Washington Irving wrote a completely fictionalized Columbian biography where he described Columbus as lamenting the fact that while he had realized the earth was a sphere, everybody else thought it was flat as a plate.
That explains a
You
lot.
okay, Tim?
I'll give you
my
another
throat,
good example.
Okay.
After the Louisiana Purchase, when Lewis and Clark got sent to investigate it, they initially thought that the Midwestern grasslands had useless soil. Not because they'd done any testing, but because they looked around and didn't see any trees growing. The reason those trees weren't growing was because of the fact, if I remember right, that the soil potentially wasn't deep enough. Actually, let's look that up.
Okay.
Here
Ugh. Excuse me.
Yeah, while we're waiting. Something to pass along. Let's see. Sandra just said Peacock TV is getting bigger coming March. Okay. Yeah, but something else. Cloris Leachman. She passed away today.
Yeah.
She was 94 years old. And for those who don't know, she was Hippolyta in Wonder Woman. She was also in the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Hippolyta?
Yeah, Hippolyta. Yeah.
That was in the movie,
The debut when Linda Carter was first there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, she was like the, let's just say she was like the hippie type Hippolyta.
That's news to me. You know what I remember her playing?
What?
Frau Blücher,
In what?
Young Frankenstein.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
And I
You
believe
guys remember what happened every time somebody said her name?
I forgot.
Anytime somebody said the name Blücher, you'd hear the sound of a horse screaming.
Ah. And also I think, if I remember
Mary
correctly,
Tyler Moore. Don't forget Mary Tyler
I know,
Moore.
but I also remember her. I think she was in the Facts of Life and took over when Charlotte Rae left. So.
Yeah. She was a good actress. She was Mary Tyler Moore's friend in her Mary Tyler Moore show.
Yeah, she won an Emmy and an Academy Award. So.
Oh,
But
excuse me.
but thoughts and prayers to her family and her friends, because I remember Cloris Leachman growing up. So.
Yeah. They didn't say what she died from, did they?
Not yet. I mean, she was 94.
She
It's probably
died.
natural causes.
I hope and pray it wasn't COVID.
Well, me too. Because guess what? Let me put it this way. That British variant of COVID-19 has been spotted here in Alabama.
Really, Parker?
Oh my!
Are you
Yes.
kidding me, Parker?
No, It has been confirmed there are 3 cases of the British variant here in Montgomery. Oh, and Sergio says, nice background, Shirley and
I
Mike.
just realized something myself, Shirley.
What's that?
Whenever you try to talk about the British variant, you sound an awful lot like comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Actually,
Do you
he was
agree with
supposed
me?
to be
You see, I'm trying to be Aloysius Parker from
Parker from the
Thunderbirds.
Birds.
Well,
You
like I
you
said,
do a good Lady
uh,
Penelope too. You do a good Lady P too.
Absolutely.
now that I like. But the fact is, whenever you try to do Aloysius Parker, I'd swear you sounded almost like I don't know what comic book guy's real name is. Does anyone know that?
Nope.
No, I don't watch The Simpsons. I can't
No.
stand the show.
I
I'll
don't
look him
either.
up later.
I haven't
But
watched
anyway,
The
what I
Simpsons
was
in
telling you
years.
Never
about.
seen him named.
This was a fact that I learned when I was an 8th grader. After the Louisiana Purchase, either Lewis and Clark or whoever else had been sent out to scout it prior to their journey looked around at the Midwestern grasslands and believed that because there were no trees present, the soil was terrible. And the fact is, it was actually due to natural causes that trees didn't grow that much. It was simply the fact that it was grassland. The mere fact that grass was growing should have indicated that the soil was fertile enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's that thing about Springfield, like one of the greatest things ever. War of the Worlds in 1938.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Orson Welles started a panic
Oh yeah.
exactly.
because a lot of people didn't tune in to let him know that it was a when he let them know it was a radio reenactment. They came in after the disclaimer that he gave before the radio show started,
Right.
and it mass panicked everybody and Grover Mills, right?
I think it did it across the country.
No, but Grover Mills is where the Martians supposedly landed.
Yeah. But yeah, that's like one of the
But,
most well known because everyone got into a panic and didn't understand that the
Now-
story was not real.
Okay, Janet, hold on a second. Is Grover Mills a suburb of London that I don't know about?
No, in War of the Worlds,
Yeah,
the
I thought
Martians
the
attacked.
Martians landed outside London.
Well, they probably did later on, but in the 1938 radio broadcast, it was strictly in the United States.
Mhm.
Okay, never mind.
You know, because we're talking about the 1938 radio broadcast.
Right.
That was 38 when it was broadcast,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was 38.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just amazing how all it takes is one little thing, one photo, one thing. It can spin the whole story out of control.
Uh-huh. Hey, Shirley, I thought Parlor was shut down.
It's probably
It
come back
was.
up. It was, but I think
Well-
it came back up in some form or fashion.
I lost total respect for a local newscaster that I liked real well.
Oh, did he fall into the parlor?
You're right.
No, she joined
Grover's Mill
Parlor.
in New Jersey.
Ah,
She joined
okay.
Parlor.
Yeah, yeah. I thought it was New Jersey. I couldn't remember. I knew. I just couldn't remember what state. So,
Did I say what state did I say?
I think you said Pennsylvania, but you were close. It's New Jersey.
Okay.
New Jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey. Jersey Shore. But no,
It's a Jersey thing.
no,
You wouldn't get
no
it.
Snooky though.
Aw, damn.
Why are you upset about that? All Snooky did was hunch around, smoke,
I was
and
joking.
rasp out.
I was
"Sneaky ones.
joking.
That's nice.
I was joking.
Yes.
No.
No, I'll tell you what would be the funniest thing ever. Take those guys from Jersey Shore, put them into the War of the Worlds, and let's see how they would react.
What I think is the funniest thing ever.
OMG. What is that? Something like that, Shirley.
Yeah.
You know what I think would be the funniest thing ever?
What?
Put Trump in the middle of War of the Worlds?
Nah, he'd
Put
believe.
Go
Kyle
ahead.
Broflovsky
Mhm.
in the middle of everything, and then
Who?
tell him he's Kyle Broflovsky of South Park.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh
gotcha.
God.
Put him in the middle of everything, and watch him involuntarily style himself as a New Jersey native and go to town on him.
Oh boy. Yeah, but
You guys remember the episode "It's a Jersey Thing"?
I don't know.
I don't
I
watch
never
South
watched
I
Park
South
don't
Park.
either.
watch South Park.
Okay, here's what happened. Jersey Shore got to be so popular that New Jersey started expanding its border until at the west it butted up against Colorado.
Ah, okay.
When it did, New Jersey natives started invading South Park. And around that time, Kyle discovered that his mom lived in New Jersey when she was pregnant with him, and that New Jersey genetics causes him, under certain circumstances, to transform in the same style as a werewolf into a New Jersey native. I'm not making this
No,
up.
I believe you. I
He
believe
will
you.
lose control of his body, and then, independent of his mind, his arms will grease up his hair, uh, rip the sleeves off his shirt, and put on spiked wrist gauntlets or wristlets. And as soon as he's fully transformed, he talks a lot like this. I am not making this up.
Oh no, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it because tunes like that they can get away with literally everything
That's
possible
why
and
South
defy
Park.
logic.
That's
Period.
why South Park was on late night most of the time.
Hmm. But
Yeah,
but seriously, these shows last years and years because they've got they have plenty of fodder. So
oh
Plenty
yeah,
of fodder and plenty of followers.
right, exactly.
yeah. I miss the good old days when their problems involved Cartman getting hit with an alien ray from out of the sky that makes him start
Oh
singing.
my God!
I
You
like to
killed
sing you.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh, I
God!
miss that
You
too.
killed Kenny.
Believe it or not, there
You
was
bastards.
yeah. Believe it or not, there was a South Park pinball game.
I remember
What?
that
Yes,
one.
I actually played it, and it's like, oh my God, you killed Kenny, and you sometimes you would hear you bastard in the video
Well,
arcade where the kids are supposed to be.
Oh,
yeah, I
surely
think
Hmm.
I can compete with that. This is
changing.
out.
Hold it. Go ahead, James. I mean, John. Sorry.
This was out of the pilot episode. I did not get an anal probe, and I am not under alien control. I like to sing you about the moon and the June and the spring. I love to sing you
Oh
about a
yeah,
sky
Alan
of blue
Jolson, like
or
that old classic
T42.
cartoon. It's like that old
Changing.
cartoon.
What the hell was that?
Okay, go ahead, Janet.
Changing subject real quick.
Hmm.
Hmm?
There was one of these our local news reporters. She'd been on high. She hadn't been doing the morning news for a while. We couldn't figure. I didn't know why. You know what happened?
What's that?
She dropped an F bomb on air,
Ooh,
Very
and the men in
nice.
charge didn't like.
mm-hmm,
So they gave her a timeout for a while.
mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to be careful. It's like the morning after the riot in
Uh-huh.
Washington. For some strange reason, I turn on Morning Joe on MSNBC. I usually don't watch any of it. Okay, but for some reason, it's like, oh, I'm gonna see what's going on with Morning Joe. He dropped the F bomb at about 5:10 in the morning. It's like,
Well, and,
Oh my.
oh,
ah,
well, you know
Oh
what?
dear.
he was that
Those
angry.
people were fucking crazy.
He was that angry. What happened? That what happened? And it's
A
like,
lot of people were. A lot
it's
of
like,
people were.
ah, dropped the f bomb, and I remember I heard Mika, his partner. She said, "Oh my god!" And it's like, "Oh my god!" He dropped the f bomb at about 5:10 in the morning. Oh boy, he's not
Oh
No,
happy.
if you
boy.
woke me up at 5:10 in the morning and I'd gone to bed about midnight, I'd probably do the same thing.
Hmm. But yeah, I mean, but seriously, it's like you're saying. All it takes is like one word or one thing. And, people are like, let's go attack Agrabah. It's like, you want to go attack a fictional city in a Disney movie? Seriously?
Well, you know what? In a way, the Little Mermaid's little underwater city got attacked
Yeah, that's
Yep,
true.
because
Rangier,
it's
if I
supposed
remember
because
right.
no, they didn't get attacked. They got attacked by the censors because
Oh,
if you
yeah.
look real close in the album art,
Yeah,
let's just say
one of the buildings. Let's just say we'll stop there. How's that?
look like adult item.
We'll
Right.
talk about it more off the air, Janet.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean,
When we do, I'll tell
we can
you
just
else.
say the hint. That's all.
I'll tell you guys another interesting fact when we get to that. When
Okay.
we do, of course.
Yeah. But it just boggles my mind that people fall for all these things. I mean, think of all the things like April Fool's Day when what was it? Taco Bell said they bought the Liberty Bell.
I remember, I've heard of that. Oh, you remember Smell-O-Vision?
Yeah, I do remember Smell-O-Vision. But it's like I mean, it's amazing how many people fall for these things.
How many people are gullible?
Hmm.
Actually, you guys ever heard of the bikini whales?
Not me.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, here's a funny story for you.
Nani?
You guys know where
Hey,
the word bikini comes from?
the Bikini Islands?
Exactly.
The
The
Bikini
reason
Atoll.
yep. The reason they called women's two pieces that after they were invented, mind you, the reason they did that was because they said it would make an explosion on the beach.
Oh.
And anyone who listened to the song Rock Lobster all the way through would have heard a reference to a bikini whale. Well,
Oh
supposedly
yeah.
those are actually real animals. What happened was sometime after the nuclear tests that were done, uh, I think they were Chilean merchant ships started noticing these pods of emaciated looking sperm whales, and they were royally aggressive. These guys would try to ram ships,
Radiation sickness?
and that's what they thought. Everybody thought that they were irradiated by the Bikini Atoll tests, so they called them bikini whales.
That is sad that a lot of people had to suffer.
Hmm.
And I
You
know
know
we
what's even
needed to.
sadder, guys?
What was that?
What?
That was a lie.
Oh wow.
I mean,
And people fell for it.
We
Oh,
did, didn't we? We
Hmm.
hung on. I hung on to every word.
Yeah. But like I said, but it's like we've been saying here tonight. It doesn't take much. I can say something that sounds absolutely untrue, and it could get spun out of control in a matter of minutes.
well, actually, no, you'd have to say something that's untrue but sounds true enough.
Yeah.
Geologists report there is a big crack in Southern California along the San Andreas fault line.
Hmm.
They predict that it won't take long for California to fall into the ocean.
Now, one thing I can tell you is this: the local meteorologists here, James Spann and Josh Johnson, they're not really happy with the national media calling it a you know a storm with no warning. It's like yes, there was, and it's like they try to sensationalize it a little too much, which I can't stand. Well, that's just why I always trust the local meteorologist first in the first place, because like I'll take them straight up. They give it straight up. It's like when that tornado hit Beauregard, Alabama. back in 2019. Janet, you and I were on the cruise, remember? Um,
Yeah, and we were watching the Weather Channel in our stateroom.
yeah, and when
When
and yeah, and basically, Josh went. I mean, he had his jacket off and everything. He said,
Wait,
"Get to
what
the
did you say?
get, huh?
It sounded like you just said he had us.
No, he took his jacket
Oh
off.
my!
Good,
Yeah,
good.
he
Oh
took his
my!
jacket off. He was in like his shirt
All
with this.
right.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, he just took his
is he
jacket
the one that
off.
has is he the weather reporter that has the freaking suspenders?
No, that's James Spann. He's well known for the suspenders. But but Josh Johnson, he had his jacket off and he's saying, "Stop what you're doing. Get to your safe place right now. Your life may be in jeopardy. Your life is in jeopardy." I mean, he went totally, you know, the way he
Good.
should.
Surely,
Hmm.
you remember that video of these reporters? They're reporting on this tornado, and it started getting close to their work. He
Hmm.
says, "Okay, we're gonna leave now and go to our shelter.
Hmm.
We'll be back when we can.
Yeah.
Goodbye."
Hmm. Because it's like they knew what they were doing. Because this is why I like the local meteorologists much better than the national news because they over sensationalize it when they don't need to. Because it's like, oh, it's a rare January tornado. Excuse me. We've had tornadoes
Oh,
in January and February around here.
I believe
It's
you.
not that rare.
I think you got to remember, Shirley, local news. Well, first off, you do have to ask what motivation do they have not to sensationalize. National news, they're sponsored by a lot of private deals or private companies, and those companies want viewers to see the ad space they buy. So
I know, but it gets ridiculous sometimes.
I agree.
It is so ridiculous because it's like, national media says, oh, it's a rare January tornado. Excuse me. Wetumpka got hit with a tornado 2 years ago in January. I still remember in February 2008. I remember it was a sunny afternoon. It was 78 degrees. We had a tornado emergency in Montgomery, Autauga, and Elmore counties, and there was a tornado that hit Prattville pretty hard. The good news is nobody died, but we had 50 injuries. Nothing, none of them
Right back.
serious. Okay, go ahead. But
How many people know the difference between a watch and a warning?
I
I
do.
do.
I do too. A watch means the conditions are ripe
Hmm.
for a tornado watch means the conditions are ripe for a tornado. A tornado warning basically means one's already been spotted. Get your asses in gear and get to your shelter.
Right. And what
And
you
when you ask what the difference, sorry,
go? Yeah, but anyway,
when you ask what
oh, sorry. What I was gonna say, I forgot. You go ahead and take over while I think what I was gonna say. I'm sorry.
when you ask the difference between a watch and a warning, Janet, first thing I thought was a watch is this, a warning is what you get when you don't obey the teacher.
That's
Or
actually a good way to put that. Actually.
Well, thank
I
you.
actually, I actually had a meteorology class in college, taught by an actual meteorologist.
Cool.
Hmm.
In other words, he didn't just teach the class. He would teach the class in the morning, and then he later on that afternoon he'd be in the TV studio actually forecasting the weather.
Hmm.
Very nice.
And that's good. Because and speaking of meteorologists and such, Amanda Curran, she's a popular one here in Montgomery. Works with Josh Johnson. She had a sweater on today, had Weather Girl crossed out, meteorologist below. It's like, yeah, in this day and age, we don't call them weather girls anymore.
they're they're
They're meteorologists.
meteorologists
The
or
meteorologist.
weather forecasters for the old-fashioned ones.
Right. And someone said could have gone a little further to have atmospheric scientists because she said, and Amanda responded with, "Well, my degree is in atmospheric science, so that would actually work too."
Yeah, anymore, I just don't call them at all. Last
Mm-hmm.
time I tried to call him, I nearly got a restraining order slapped against me.
Oh,
Oh, oh
Don't worry,
my.
I'm kidding.
oh, okay.
I'm kidding.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but I mean, in this day and age, it doesn't take much to get sensationalized. Because let's face it, you know, long time ago, we only had like three channels. Okay, well, like three channels to watch on TV. Today, you can get news in a matter of seconds, especially on
Yeah,
Facebook, on the internet. I mean, it breaks so fast.
yeah, okay. And the news, you have CNN, you have MSNBC, C-SPAN,
Fox
um,
News, which I don't
Fox
like, but
News. You have about 10 different,
mm-hmm.
10 or 15 different
different new,
stations
yeah, 10,
for
15 different
news
news networks
alone.
alone, right? And remember, when the Weather Channel first started in 1982, a lot of people said, oh, a 24-hour weather network would never work. Well, guess what? It's still here.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say, we're mentioning Fox makes up the news.
Hmm.
That was one of the stations you know who hated too.
Yeah, but let's put it this way: the daytime bunch, like Eric Shawn and them, they do their best to actually report the news. It's just the opinion bunch I don't like. The Fox and Friends
Well,
bunch
I'm
in
the
the
same way about
morning.
CNN.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. That's perfectly legit because you got these guys in the daytime. They're actually trying to broadcast the actual news, not trying to spin anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the biggest problem. You've got the opinionated bunch, and you have to be careful to tell which group is the opinionated bunch and which bunch is the actual news bunch. Because
Opinions are not facts.
right. Mm-hmm. Because the fact of the matter is, I remember, I think, no offense to you, John, but I think, what was it, Tucker Carlson got on Eric Shawn's case because Eric Shawn, all he did was ask the questions like he was supposed to. You see, I took a media law and ethics course back in the 90s at AUM. So, and one thing I remember that a journalist is supposed to be is unbiased. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, in
Let's
this day and age, that's kind of tough to go by because you've got networks going one way or the other way. There's nobody in
Exactly.
the middle. That's the biggest problem.
You know,
No one's in
again,
the middle.
again, the ad space buyers who are
Hmm.
funding their efforts want viewership. What better way to secure it than by securing an audience who shares your political affiliations?
Yeah, and sometimes I sometimes wish those would just get out of the way and let people do like their own grassroots efforts to like maybe it's like I probably will not do this, but if Barry Moore does something stupid, by the way, Barry Moore, he's our representative in the second congressional district here in Alabama, and he was one
Mm.
of those 147 Republicans who wanted to overturn the election results.
Hopefully, he's not related to Roy
I
Moron.
don't think he is actually. I don't think Barry is related
I'm
to Roy
hoping
Moore.
he's. I'm hoping he's not.
Yeah. But seriously, I mean, I feel like if he says one more thing wrong, I already know at least one person who's planning to run for that second district next year. Because guess what? 2022 is a midterm year, and the representatives have every 2 years. So there's at least one person. But if he starts going too far for my liking, I'm thinking serious about running myself.
You got the money, go ahead.
Yeah. But I want to see if I can do it without any big lobbyists. You know what I mean?
That might be a little bit hard to do.
Yeah, that might be true. But if I can get at least get local businesses or whatever, that'd be a big help. That's a start. But I mean, it's just a thought. But I mean, the fact that I've got this guy, he just barely got sworn in and already did this. So, like I said, that's just me. But I'm not happy with that guy right now.
I just hope he's not related to Roy Moron.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's put it this way. We got. Might as well call him Barry Moron because we had Roy Moron. And of course, we have another moron named Mo Brooks. Moron Brooks.
I personally like Michael Moron myself.
That's fine.
You know what's cool about this group? We agree to disagree,
Yeah.
whether it be on
Exactly.
politics or
Hmm.
other things. Shirley, real quick,
Yeah.
after the show, can you help me get this split camera thing set up?
Yeah. I can do that. Yeah, but but seriously, you have all these guys. They're arguing. It's like you nutcase, you blah blah blah. It's like, well, at least here we don't have to worry about that.
Oh
Be-
my.
because because let's face it. Um, I don't know. Did you hear about that one 18-year-old who turned in his father?
Oh, enlighten us on that.
Okay,
You
I
guys ever heard of 1984?
yes,
Or
George Orwell.
You know why I thought of that?
Why?
Here's a little paraphrased passage. Winston heard once more about a little sneak, a child hero, as the papers called him, who denounced his parents to the thought police.
Okay, yeah. But what happened was, his father basically gave him a choice: choose a side or die. In other words, the
Okay, now
father,
that I can
yeah,
understand.
the father threatened to kill him and his sister if they turned him in for his part in that riot. Well, guess what? The son turned him in.
he did the right thing too.
Now this is one of those hard situations. Now he was interviewed by Chris
Now,
Cuomo.
I don't understand it quite
Yeah,
well.
he was interviewed by Chris Cuomo, and it's like it was not. I mean, it is a difficult decision to make because like this is your dad, but he threatened you. He was involved in this mess, so it's like and unfortunately, this 18-year-old has probably been disowned by his family because of it. But it's so this
Let
it's
me
one of
ask
those
you
moral
this.
dilemmas.
Let me ask you this, Shirley.
Okay.
Did the guy turn in his dad because he thought what his dad did was wrong? Or because he was mad that his dad threatened to kill him?
No, I don't think he was mad that his dad threatened to kill him. He was scared his dad was had threatened to kill him. He was scared for himself and his sister. Now, the sister, we don't know. She may be believing otherwise because we don't know the whole story there. But all I know is from his perspective, he was scared that he would kill not just him but his sister as
Right,
well. So,
right. The point is, this comes this comes into play when forming an opinion on it.
yeah. Hmm.
Obviously, I'm not going to support this guy if I think he's being a tattletale for the sake of some kind of vengeance or self protection. But if the
Hmm.
guy didn't want to do it but realized he had to because it was the right thing, that to me is admirable.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's all about the perception. Some people are saying, why would he betray his father? And others are saying he did the right thing because of the threat.
You know, threat aside, I mean,
I mean, that's hard to do. It's really hard to do. But it's like,
well,
like
here,
I said, like I've said, I've seen families and friendships be completely destroyed because of
yeah.
what people believe, and I think it's horrible.
Hey, real quick, I got to ask a quick question. Is that a bikini whale behind Janet?
I don't know.
Certainly looks thin enough to be one.
I think that's her chair.
Oh my.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. But I mean, seriously, I mean, in the past 4 years, I've seen friendships and families just literally be destroyed over political beliefs, which I think is dumb. Because you've only
Yeah,
got one family.
it's
And I'll be honest, sometimes I feel like I'm a standout because, I'll tell you the truth. I voted for Biden. Everybody else voted for Trump. But it's like, you know what? The thing is, you have the right to vote for who you think is best for the job. And it shouldn't matter.
exactly.
Because it's like, how could you vote for a liberal? I said, Mom, I voted for the person who's right for the job. It doesn't matter about the D or R for me. See, that's the beauty of the general election. You don't have to go straight Democrat or straight Republican, because you see, there's some offices you only have like one Republican or one Democrat running. So,
Mike, you've been awfully silent lately. You feeling okay?
Yep, I'm good. I'm just coloring.
happy color.
Yeah.
I remember the days when you didn't need fancy electronics to color.
That's true. I mean, there's still the coloring books now, but but
Yeah,
but I would like to spend some time coloring in some of my coloring books. I actually have a coloring book of Jason Momoa. Actually, yes, I do.
a thought occurs to me, Shirley.
hmm
I've been trying to search for an answer to this question for years now.
Okay.
I remember reading a sci fi story about a computer shaped like a briefcase with a purely audio interface that got to be so popular that the human population basically forgot how to do anything except speak. Does that story ring any bells to you? And if so, do you remember what it's called?
Mm, the concept seems familiar, but I cannot think of the title.
What
The
about you, Mike?
Yeah, the concept does ring a bell, though.
Yeah. What about you, Mike? Does it ring any bells with you?
Say that again.
Okay. I don't remember the title of the story, but it's about a computer shaped like a briefcase that had a purely audio interface. You'd ask it a question and it'd give you an answer or do something. It got to be so popular that humanity basically forgot how to do everything except
Hmm.
We're kind of losing you there, B button.
No, I mean, I feel like I've heard about it, but I can't. I can't think.
Shirley, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Joker's having trouble hearing me. Joker, I think it may be a problem on your end, man.
No, this has been happening on and off for a while. Audio would kind of skip out on your side because I could hear Shirley, Jan, and Tim just fine.
Tim, are you able to hear me okay?
Yeah.
Have you been have you been hearing any garbling or any cutouts while I've been speaking?
No. Nope.
I don't know what's going on, Mike, but
I mean, it
I
happens. It can happen between any one of us. Like right now, I could be fine, but you guys may hear me garble. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It'll vary. Trust me.
For me, there's a lot of lag when I'm looking at the Zoom call for you, Shirley.
It may be my background.
That's probably it. The thing's probably chewing up. I don't like to think how much processor power.
Yeah. Well, you see what I'm using. You see, I can't use the Zoom version because I get that message about it affects the quality.
There we go.
But here, I don't. But I could turn it off. Let's see.
Personally, I like the background you had before, but
Yeah, but I had a stream before. I had an actual moving stream, but it's like that could become a problem. So,
yeah, yeah. I was actually talking about your bedroom or
oh,
wherever your computer is.
it's in my bedroom. Uh-oh. Okay. Trying to get my thing right here. Hold on. Bear with me.
Growl.
Okay, oops. All right.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Turn the camera off.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Oh, it's failed to start the camera. Okay. Okay, it's probably because of the XSplit camera. All right, that's all right. Oops. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. Because what I could do is I can take the background out. So let's see. Let's go to original. There we go. Yeah. There's my
Like I said, it
original.
does look nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can make out Supergirl. Looks like Poison Ivy, Wonder Woman.
Oh my gosh, I've gone all black.
Oh no.
Okay, there we
There
go.
you
Oh
go.
my.
All right, back to my room. But yeah, I got a lot of the DC superhero girls. Now, of course, that was when the animation was actually good. Now the animation on it is horrible. I hate it.
Well, the animation on Harley Quinn is awesome.
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah.
Um, I had to show you something funny I found after we're off the air.
Okay.
It's from Batman the Animated Series. I think you'd like it.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, anyway, it's 10:11. I think we can go ahead and stop here for the night. But yeah, but keep this in mind. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Double check everything. Make sure it's verified.
Oh yeah.
Because that is so crucial. Because when I see something about, if someone dies, I check for at least 2 to 3 verified sources before
Good
I
on you.
actually confirm it. Because, it's like there was this, I'll say this one last thing. There was like a really dumb story where it's like there was this rumor that the movie Underground, Six Underground with Ryan Reynolds was secretly a Thundercats movie. Of course, when Six Underground came out on Netflix, that blew that out of the water and said, "Boy, whoever believed that sure has their tail stuck between their legs now." So, like I said, but see, that's why I always double check everything. I have to because I've fallen for a few
Yeah.
things myself, but I'll tell you this: one website don't exactly trust is We Got This Covered. Don't really trust that one because I'd say 95% of the time that site comes up with a bunch of fake news, literally. All right, so but seriously, my the sources I'll go to are like if it's like CBS, NBC, Hollywood Reporter, Variety. Those to me are reliable sources, and I can trust them. I don't do TMZ. I don't do because it's like no. But anyway, we'll end this. We'll just go ahead and end this here for tonight. And tomorrow, of course, we're gonna do a double take, part review, and the rest of it, just other crazy stuff, including a really nice story of a Chick-fil-A manager who was actually called in to help get the drive-through for the COVID-19 vaccine. It's like good on him. I mean, that's actually a good story. But anyway, we'll cover that tomorrow. But anyway, let me get to the ending here. There we go. Give me a second. All right. So everybody, just remember, please have a great night. Have a safe night. Stay warm. Stay safe. Stay dry. Anybody who's suffered in these tornadoes for the last couple days, hope you're doing okay. And we will see you tomorrow for the Thumbs Up Thursday wildcard review and other stuff. So have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Night, y'all.